Welcome back to my coverage of this year's GenreBlast 2023 Film Fest. We're still on the third day of the festival, but we're not finished yet. Cryptids is the brand new film set to premiere at the festival today at 8:55 p.m. Eastern, which is when this review goes up as well. So without further ado, let's chat about a little film called Cryptids. Cryptids is ultimately an anthology film all about a radio host that is doing an episode on otherworldly creatures or monsters, often referred to collectively as cryptids. Whether that means Mothman, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, or so on and so forth, he wants to know all about people's run-ins with these things, and his callers are giving him the lowdown, one story at a time. So yeah, this is an anthology film, which had I known that before diving in, I probably would have skipped out on it. I don't really review them. It's not that I don't enjoy watching them, I do, but they don't really work with my scoring spreadsheet because they don't have an overall narrative, and that messes up my end score. But even so, there's usually something good to be found in films like this, so let's focus on that for a second. This deals with a radio show host that has a focus on the paranormal and otherworldly, which depending on how old you are, or what kind of things that you listen to, this might actually sound familiar, even back to the late 80s with the Art Bell Show, or when I lived in Minneapolis, there was a show late at night called Darkness Radio with Dave Schrader that did essentially the same exact thing. If you're somebody that prefers to listen to podcasts, there's actually a pretty famous one right now called Jim Harold's Campfire. List goes on. And because I've heard things from all three of those examples, I can at least say that the concept here is pretty good. It is 100% something that I can relate to, and I actually have quite a bit of nostalgia with. Also, the guy playing the radio host, John Bloom, was easily the best and most natural part of the film. I'll also give credit where it's due by saying, certain areas of the gore was fairly decent. Feeling legitimately like a good B movie, but at the same time, there's a lot of other areas that I just thought didn't work as well as they wanted them to. The acting in particular always felt bad. Like, I get it, I do understand that B movies usually have bad acting to the degree that it's so bad that it's good, but I feel like that's intentional, usually. This just felt bad, and there wasn't a single actor that was good. John Bloom was the most natural, like I said, he felt the most normal, but he's not exactly going to be winning any acting awards either. The costume, the makeup design is touch and go. Some of the shorts in this anthology are actually pretty good, all things considered, while other things downright look awful. And obviously, it is low budget. The film never attempts to be anything but that, but I would just say on a scale, weighing stuff like the pros and the cons, I'm sorry, but the cons are just really weighing the entire thing down. Now, I can tell you for a fact that for whatever reason, I have higher expectations when it comes down to anthologies. I have enjoyed a handful of horror anthologies in the past, such as the ABCs of Death or the VHS series, but even those, which are much more well known, have a hard time getting me to love them. So when you see my end score, take it with a grain of salt. To be fair, it should realistically be at least 10% higher overall because of the narrative thing. Anthologies just don't really have them. But with that being said, let's take a look at what I scored Cryptids, which was a D- letter grade, final overall score of 41%, 41 out of 100 possible stars. Obviously, not a great score overall. There's a chance that even if we ignore the narrative score, it would only be a 51% score anyways, which also not all that great because look, acting is universal. Extremely low budget stuff is universal. Everybody can tell if something isn't great, but there is a chance that for some folks, they won't mind all that much. There are those, after all, that prefer movies that are like this, low budget, because to them, they're more fun, they're more unique, and more power to you. If that sounds like you might actually love it. As for me, I think I'll stick to my typical narrative features. If you've seen this one though, please leave me your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next film review for GenreBlast 2023. And until then, peace out.